this video lecture, we will discuss one more application of the operational amplifier, that how this op-amp can be used as an integrated circuit. Basically, this kind of the circuit is used in the analog computer to solve the first order or the second order differential equation. It is also used whenever the signal, when we receive any kind of a signal, and if there will be a fast variation in the signal is there, to make the signal smooth, we can also use the integrated circuit. So let us see what is the basic integrated circuit. First of all, we will discuss the basic integrated circuit, which is an ideal integrated circuit. Then later on, we will discuss the practical integrated circuit. So here we can see that we have a kind of a inverting amplifier, but in this inverting amplifier, in the feedback path, instead of resistance, capacitor is connected. Here, this capacitor CF is connected, and at the input, we have the resistance R1. Now, to find out the expression for this output voltage, here, we will consider a ideal operational amplifier. So, in ideal operational amplifier, already you know that here this non-inverting terminal is connected to the ground. You can say that this point B is connected to ground, means the potential at this point B is equal to 0. Now, due to the virtual concept, virtual ground, the point A, here whatever the junction of the resistance A and B is, resistance R1 and the capacitor CF is there. So, at this junction, also the potential is going to be a 0. VA will be also equal to 0. Here we consider ideal op-amp, so the input resistance of the op-amp is very high, so the current flowing through the operational amplifier is also a 0. So as a result, what will happen? That whatever the signal we apply, then there will be a flow of this current I will be there at the input, and the same current I will also flow through this capacitor CF. Now, we will write the expression for the current I at the input part. At the input of op-amp, we can write the current I is equal to, basically I is equal to V by R according to Ohm's law. So what is the potential difference across the resistance R1? So that potential is VA and V minus VA. So here we have VI minus VA divided by the resistance R1. Okay? But already you know that the VA, this potential is 0. So we can write, but the VA is equal to 0, and therefore the current I is equal to, we can write VI by R1. That you can say expression number 1. That is the current flowing through the resistance R1. Now we will discuss the current passing through the capacitor CF. So at the output of op-amp, I can write the current I, and according to the basic definition of the current I, we can write it is a dQ by dt. Correct? And what is Q? That is the charge on the plate of the capacitor. So already we have a standard formula for the capacitor, that the Q is equal to CV. So here we can write CF into V. What is V? V is the potential drop across the capacitor. Here, what is the potential drop across this capacitor? So, this you can see, here the potential is VA and here the potential is VO. So, we can write I is equal to d by dt into CF into VA minus VO, and this is equal to, here this will be equal to minus CF into dVO by dt, because the VA is equal to 0. So we have to calculate this current I at the output, and you can say this is my expression number 2. Now you can compare both the current, that is the input current and output current. Both are same, so here we can write that from the equation 1 and 2, VI by R1 is equal to minus CF into dVO by dt. Correct? Now we can rearrange the terms. So by rearranging these terms, we can write VI is equal to minus R1 CF into dVO by dt. Here we want to find out the expression for the output voltage. So we will write this as a dVO is equal to minus 1 upon R1 CF into VI dt. Okay? Just we have rearranged the terms. Now take the integration on both the sides. Taking integration, so here we have dVO equal to minus 1 upon R1 CF integration of VI into dt. You can take the integration from 0 to t. Now if we integrate this expression, then this will come out to be a VO is equal to minus 1 upon R1 CF, and this integration is from 0 to t VI into dt, and then we have some integration constant, that is the output voltage at the time t is equal to 0. So here you can see that the output voltage is proportional to the integration of the input voltage. In this way, this circuit will give you the integration of the input signal. What is the VO? Here, VO 0 means at the time t, that is representing a integration constant. Means at the time t is equal to 0, whatever the output voltage will be there, it is represented here. In most of the case, we will consider that it is a 0. Okay? Now let us say that here at the input, if we apply a different types of the waveform, if we applied a sine wave, square wave, step input, then what will be the output waveform? We will see the change in the shape of the signal due to the integration of your input signal. Here we will write that the expression for the output of the integrator at any time t is given as minus 1 upon Rf into Cf, integration of your input voltage from 0 to t, correct? This is the output voltage. Now let us say my first input is a sine wave. Sine wave, correct? So how we can represent the sine wave? That sine wave is represented as Vi is equal to, we can write Vm sine omega t. Correct? Now, here we will see what is the output voltage of the integrator. So, in this output voltage of the integrator, remember we have R1CF. R1CF is known as a time constant of the integrator. Time constant of the integrator is a R1 into CF. Normally for the integrator circuit, this time constant is very large. Here if we consider, let us say R1 is a 1 mega ohm and CF is a 1 microfarad. Then here if you take this product, then this will give you R1CF, that is my time constant, will comes out to be a 1 second. Because the mega ohm is 10 raised to 6, micro is 10 raised to minus 6, it will be cancelled out, and so the time constant is a 1 second. Correct? So here in all the case, we will consider, let us say the time constant is a 1 second, and therefore the output voltage of the integrator we can write as a VOT is equal to a integration of your input voltage plus some output voltage is 0 at time t is equal to 0. Correct? And here we will consider that the initial voltage is also a 0. Correct? So, if we take this integration minus integration from 0 to t, my input signal is Vm sine omega t into dt. Then integration of this sine, already we know it is a cos omega t. So this integration will comes out to be minus Vm by omega into cos omega t. So this is the output voltage of the integrator. If we apply a kind of a sine wave at the input, now we will see what will be the output at different time. Correct? So here, if I will draw the waveform for the input, remember this is my input waveform, that is a sine wave. Correct? So this will be a 0, this is t by 2, and this one is t. And what is my maximum voltage? It is a Vm. So this signal is representing a input signal. Now here we have time t by 4. This is a 3t by 4. Correct? Now calculate this output voltage at different time. Correct? So at t is equal to 0, what will be the output voltage? It is minus Vm by omega. It is cos 0 minus Vm by omega. Sorry, here if you take the integration of sine omega t, it is going to be a minus cos omega t, and minus this is going to be a plus. So here we have plus and the cos 0. Cos 0 already you know it is 1, and therefore the output voltage is plus Vm by omega at the time t is equal to 0, remember. Now if I will take a t is equal to t by 4, so t is equal to t by 4, so the output voltage will be equal to Vn by omega into cos. Now what is omega? Omega is, we can write as 2 pi by t, and I am calculating this output voltage at t by 4, so t by 4, so here t will be cancelled and 2 pi by 4 is there, so it will be a pi by 2, and therefore the cos pi by 2 is 0, so we will have this output voltage 0. If you take a t is equal to t by 2, then the output voltage will be Vn by omega cos 2 pi by t into t by 2. So this will be equal to t will be cancelled, 2 pi by 2, so it will be pi, and the cos pi is minus 1, so this will be a minus Vn by omega. Same way, you can calculate the rest of the time, that is t is equal to 3t by 4. Then the output voltage will be Vn by omega cos 2 pi by t into 3t by 4 into 3t by 4, t will be cancelled, 6 pi by 4, so it will comes out to be a 0, correct? And finally, if you calculate the t is equal to a t, then this output voltage is Vn by omega cos 2 pi by t into t, and 2 cos 2 pi, that is 1, so we have Vn by omega. So if we put this different value, here at the t is equal to 0, what is the output voltage? It is a Vn by omega. Now at t by 4, the output voltage is 0, so another point is there. At t by 2 minus Vn by omega. So here we have, somewhere here you can have a minus Vn by omega, correct, at t by 2. Then at 3t by 4, the output voltage is 0, and at t we have this output voltage of Vn by omega. So if we join all these points, then this is the output voltage of a integrator. So input is a sine wave, then the output is a kind of a cos wave. But what is the amplitude of the cos wave? That is the Vm by omega. Amplitude of the input signal is going to decrease. Okay. Now let us say, instead of a sine wave, if we apply a step wave at the input, what is a step wave? Remember, step wave is a kind of this signal. So at the time t is equal to 0, your input signal is suddenly changing from 0 to A. The amplitude of the step wave is A, and then it is going to remain constant. So here you can have a t is equal to a 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, you can have a 4 second. So here we want to see that at different time, what will be the output voltage of the integrated circuit. But now to integrate the signal, you should know a mathematical form of this step wave. Remember, how we can write this step wave? So here you can see that if the t is less than 0, then the input signal is 0. T is less than 0, then the input signal is 0. So we can write this step wave in this way, that input voltage is 0 if the t is less than or equal to 0. Okay? Then after this, the input voltage. What is the amplitude of the input voltage? It is A. When the t is greater than 0. Okay? So in this way, we can represent the step wave. Now, for this different time period, we will see what will be the output voltage. So, output voltage of the integrator is given as VO is equal to minus 1 upon R1 CF integration from 0 to T VI dt. Correct? And already mentioned that we consider the time constant as a unity. So R1 CF is, let us say, a 1 second. So we can have the output voltage is equal to minus 1 upon, that is equal to minus integration from 0 to T VI dt. So now what is my function? Here remember, and when this input voltage is 0, then naturally the output voltage will be also a 0. So we can say when my input voltage is 0, this is that output voltage of this integration 0 to T 0 dt, and that is going to be 0. But if my input voltage is A, VI is equal to plus A, then the output voltage will be equal to minus 0 to A, sorry, 0 to T, and instead of VI we write A into dt. So this output voltage of the integrator will be equal to minus A into T. So here you can see, as the time is increasing, here output voltage depends on what? Time t. There is a linear relation between the time t and the output voltage. So as the time is increasing, the output voltage is also linearly increasing. And whatever the line you have, it has a slope of minus A. Minus A is representing a slope of the line. So now let us see what will be the waveform. Correct? Here if you calculate, let us say at t is equal to 0, what is my output voltage? Here it is also a 0. Now if I have t is equal to a 1 second, then the output voltage is equal to minus A into 1, so it is minus A. For a t is equal to 2 seconds, output voltage is equal to minus A into 2, so that is minus 2A. Same way, t is equal to 3 seconds, output voltage will be equal to minus A into 3, so this is minus 3A. In this way, for a different value of time, you can calculate this output voltage. So, here now if we draw, what will be the waveform? This is time t, this is a amplitude, let us say minus A is there, minus 2A, minus 3A, here we have a t is equal to 1 second, t is equal to 2 seconds, 3 seconds and 4 seconds. So, if you see, for t is equal to 0, output voltage is 0. This point will be there. This is a output voltage axis. Remember, this is a time t axis. For t is equal to 1 second, output voltage is minus A. So, here we have this point of minus A. For 2 seconds, output voltage is 2A. So, for 3 seconds, output voltage is 3A. Right? So, in this way, if we join all the points, then it is a straight line. Here, what is the slope of the straight line? That is the minus A. So, here what is the conclusion? That at the input, if we apply a step wave or a kind of a constant voltage, then the output voltage is continuously go on decreasing. Linearly it is decreasing, and it is the slope of this line is minus A. Remember, if the input voltage will be a minus A, then the slope of the line will be a plus A. So, here we have this kind of the continuously changing, linearly changing the output voltage with the time t. Okay. Now let us see one more input voltage. And that is the square wave input. If we apply the square wave, then what will be the signal in the output of the integrator? So, if you see, what is the shape of the signal? Input signal. This is my square wave. Okay? What is the amplitude? Plus A and minus A. If you see the time axis, this is a 0, this is representing t by 2, and this one is t. So, here mathematically, how we can describe the square wave? So, you can see at different time it has a different amplitude. If the t is less than t by 2, amplitude is plus A. And if the signal, if the time is between t by 2 and t, the amplitude of the signal is minus A. It is a minus A. So, here we can write that the input voltage is equal to A between the time period 0 and t by 2. So we can write in this way. The input voltage is minus A, and here. And what is the time period? Time period is between t by 2 and t. So in this way, we can describe the square wave. Now, square wave consists of what? It consists of a step input, correct? And step input, if the input voltage is A, then the output voltage, we know that it is a minus A into T. If the input voltage is minus A, then the output voltage will be A plus A into T, correct? So, here, when this input voltage is A, then we can write the output voltage is equal to minus integration 0 to t A into dt, that is minus AT. When this input signal is there, then the output voltage is 0 to t. We have minus A into dt, and that is the plus A into t. So during this time period, remember, during this time period of 0 to t by 2, we have a negative slope. And during this time period to t by 2t, here we have a positive slope. So, if you see, what is the waveform? Output waveform T, that is my output waveform, 0. Somewhere here we have t by 2, here we have a t. Correct? So during this time period of 0 to t by 2, what is the output voltage? Minus A into t. So this output voltage is decreasing in this way. Slope of this line is minus A. And then during the time period of t by 2 at t, we have a positive slope. So output voltage is increasing in this manner. Again, if we have the second cycle, output voltage will decrease and then it will be increased. So this is going to be A minus A. So at the input, if we apply a square wave, then the output is kind of a triangle wave. Triangle wave will have two slopes, positive slope as well as the negative slope will be there. It depends on your input signal is positive or the input signal is negative. Okay. So this is about a different kind of the signal. If we apply it at the input of the integrator, what will be the output? Now we will see what will be the frequency response of the integrated circuit. Means if we apply it at a different frequency, how the output voltage of the integrator is going to change. Frequency response of the integrator. Correct? So output voltage of the integrator, already you know, it is given by this formula, minus 1 upon R1 CL 0 to t VI dt. Correct? Now basically if you see this circuit, then it is a kind of a inverting amplifier. And in case of the inverting amplifier, what is the gain of the amplifier? That is the feedback resistance divided by A input resistance. Correct? So here in the feedback, instead of resistance, we have connected a capacitor. So I have to consider the reactance of the capacitor. So the gain of the amplifier, you can say inverting amplifier, A is given as minus Rf by R1. Correct? That is the basic formula. Here, now instead of this, we write minus Xc by R1. Because in a feedback, we have this capacitor. Xc is the reactance of the capacitor. And the reactance of the capacitor is represented as 1 upon j omega C1. Correct? So this is minus 1 upon j omega Cf into R1. We can write. Or you can say this is equal to minus 1 upon j 2 pi f R1 Cf. Here you can see that gain of this integrator is changing with the frequency. If we take the modulus, then modulus of this gain will be written as 1 upon 2 pi f R1 Cf. And here you can see that with the different frequency, the gain of the integrator is also a different. And as the frequency is increasing, the gain is go on decreasing. Suppose we applied a DC signal. Remember, here, if my input is a DC. DC means what? If we have f is equal to 0. DC means DC doesn't have a frequency. Correct? So in that case, your gain of this amplifier will be a infinite. And as the frequency is increasing, the more A is decreasing. So if we see the graph, frequency response graph, this is frequency f, and whenever the frequency f is 0, then we have a maximum gain. You can say it is a infinite. Correct? And the frequency is increasing, the gain of the amplifier is also go on decreasing, like this. Here, at particular frequency, you can say the gain. Here, if we have this gain in dB, remember, this gain is in dB, then at particular frequency, the gain is 0 dB. 0 dB means what? The gain is unity. Remember, whenever the gain is A is equal to 1, and if you calculate in dB, that is 0. Here, at particular frequency, the gain A is equal to 1. Unity gain. Unity gain means in terms of dB. Remember, A in terms of dB, if I will write, then it is a 0 dB. So what will be that frequency? That frequency you can calculate from this. So here we have this formula that A is equal to 1 upon 2 pi f R1 CF, and we consider the unity gain, that is 1. So this frequency is represented as FB. This frequency is represented as FB, and that is given by 1 upon 2 pi R1 CF. So here in this graph, where your gain is unity, A is equal to 1, or the gain A is equal to a 0 dB, then this frequency is known as FB. So here you can see that if my input frequency is between less than FB, then it will give you a proper integration. It will give you the proper integration. Okay? But if you see, what is a bandwidth? Bandwidth means, here let us say my maximum gain is 100 dB. It is a infinite, means very large. But if we consider, let us say it is a 100 dB, then the bandwidth means what? 100 minus 3, it is a 97 dB. So if you see, then this frequency is very small. So here you can say the bandwidth of integrator is very small. This is the bandwidth, and that is very small. But it can give the integration up to the frequency B. So that frequency depends on what? My input resistance R1 and the feedback capacitor CF. So this is about a basic integrated circuit. Now in the next lecture, we will see the practical integrated circuit. So what are the difficulties in a basic integrator? That we will discuss, and how we can modify this integrated circuit to get the better result of the integration.